part of the program right now are they're student athletes, and most of them are minorities, but it's not only for Black or brown kids. It's for open to all kids. And so what I've done is that I've merged my passion for writing with my passion for sports. And I thought that a good way to really encourage, so the goal is twofold. One, where the name comes from is underrated. So in what I noticed over the last 4 years since my son has been playing basketball is that there isn't enough of a focus on things like defense. Yeah, we talk about it, but we don't really emphasize it. We don't emphasize the kid who dives on the floor. We don't emphasize the one who's like cheering on the bench and the one who every single time gives each one of his teammates a high five. We don't give enough focus to basketball IQ. Like some kids that I've coached or have are on my kids' teams, some of the basic basketball terminology is very foreign to them. And so what I wanted to do is start the topics that we focus on in our program are going to be all of these underrated skills.
Okay.
And then the reason why I picked sports is because I thought that was a great way to grab the attention of a lot of kids. Sports is a massive, like, multi-billion-dollar industry. And we need more, because I partnered with PTR League and also with On Point Basketball. One of the things that On Point Basketball, like Drew, who's the founder of On Point Basketball, he mentioned that, you know, we don't have enough minorities in sports media. We have more now than we did like 10, 15, 20 years ago, even 5 years ago. But we need more. And I think like the larger long-term goal of this program is to expose kids to numerous careers, not only in sports media, but also in journalism.
Media writing.
In journalism. And then writing in general, no matter what field you go into, writing is going to benefit you. And why not start by teaching them how to write about sports, how to write so one of the things I do is we'll write
realize how, you know, gradually over time, how important it is, right? And even me as, you know, used to being an athlete and stuff, I now feel a lot of those injuries that I used to have. Like I have like TMJ issues from like getting elbowed in my jaw because I used to play down low in the post. I have ankle issues. I have like basically sometimes like hip issues and stuff like that. So first of all, taking care of your body is number one, but also making sure that it's protected, because when you're young, you don't feel much. You just get up and you kind of like, you just, you know, brush it off. Your tolerance is, you know, a lot less. But as you get older, you feel every ache and every pain. So I know that back then they never had this. At least I wasn't aware of it. But now if I can go back in time and they had this, I would definitely be all over it. So like even with my son, it's like a must for him to have his knee pads on. And it's not a style for him because he's one of those kids that's just naturally aggressive. Like he's on the floor, he's hustling. He'll even at practice, he's like, I need my knee pads. So he's constantly aware, like, I don't want to scrape up my knees. He felt that already. And he's like, I'm done. So he's always, it's like a given for him. It's in his bag, it's on his knees, and it is what it is. And it's great. Yeah. And it's great when parents like connect with me. Like I had a parent a few weeks ago that said, hey, my son had, you know, banged up his knee and, you know, he really needs some knee pads. And I met with him and I gave it to him and he's like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, I'm just trying to protect his knees. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, exactly. Like, you know, more parents need to think like this. You know, it doesn't protect you. And I just want to put it out there from like, you know, if you kind of like pull a ligament or something like that, it's a different, like there's not that type of support. It's when you're going down hard on your knee, you get that push from behind, or you're going to go grab that ball, you're going to go dive for that ball, you know, and you don't want that, you know, knee to floor contact, and you have that extra cushion on it. That's what's protecting you, right? Because when you get up and you get that big bruise later on and you're in pain, you don't, that's the worst. Trust me, I felt it before back in the days, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I know for a fact it's desperately needed. And it should be
phase one. And phase one is an acronym, and it means P is for potential, you know, H is for heart. A used to be for academics, but we changed that to attitude because attitude we felt covered academics as well too. S is for skills, And then that you know, the sum of those things, you know, equals an elite one, which is the E. And an elite one is somebody who now understands that, you know, how to, you know, overcome adversity, accomplish goals, pursue and reach goals. And being an elite one is more of a journey as opposed to a destination.
Great.
You know, so that it was like this whole holistic, you know, social type organization that we, you know, were putting together. And the idea
where
behind
are you all based though? Because I know you said it was a partnership, but like there is some in the States, there's some here in Canada.
That's in 2002. You know,
okay.
That was a long time ago. We started phase 1 like 18 years ago after
wow.
Levy. Yeah. And so, I mean, like I said, been doing this for a long time. And then, you know what, and when we started, we had dance programs, tutoring, workshops. We just basically said, we're going to take every talent that God blessed us with, and we're going to run some sort of youth program to engage children. Being on this journey of setting and reaching goals, and just setting higher goals and greater goals.
Great.
As opposed to a place of arrival, just I'm going to get there and I'm going to stop. So the journey of an elite one from an athlete perspective is getting up every day, setting goals, reaching goals, setting new goals, raising the bar, and staying on that path. And I always tell them that you are no longer an elite one when you decide to give up. That's the only time. But as long as you are actually trying to set and reach goals, and you're
parents, an elite. They should be doing this as soon as possible, even now, if their kids are 5, 6, 7, it doesn't matter. Every sport has a cadence. They have a pace. So if, for example, if you're one of my high school moms, I would tell you that there are 4 times a year you need to budget. 4 times a year, you need to look at your finances and say, are we on pace? I'll use football for an example, and then I'll use basketball. So, you know, football and basketball both have summer activities. So I typically say January 1st, as a basketball family, you need to say, okay, from here till the time our state championships or our rec league championships, how much money do we need to have? Let's look, where is state? Where is region championships? Where are, if we're a part of a recreational league, where physically, where is the championship? Where are games going to have to be played? Does it involve taking time off work? Does it involve travel? Are you going to have to eat out to get there? So I think I try to get them to get into the habit of once a quarter, you want to actually be touching base. Typically, you have to keep me honest, and I know you're not playing ball in Canada right now, so I'll use the U.S. for as an example. They're typically high schools and middle schools. They're playing state or regional championships like February to March. Okay. So, that first you should have had a plan in place in January. And then you want to be evaluating it at the end of March. And then you need to be setting in your new plan for the AAU season. Because the AAU season typically starts like March-ish. They try to let you at least get done with high school before they really, really start for tournaments. Sometimes they don't. So, but be prepared. April, May, June, July. There should be a budget there. I just remember my son played AAU basketball, and every July I felt like we were in Orlando for some type of national championship or something. So you have to, again, it's where is it physically? How long is the season? How many times are we going to have to travel? How much are we going to have to eat out? So every quarter there's a snapshot of where are we going? Are we going to have to travel? Are we eating out? Do we have to buy shoes? Do we have to buy a uniform? Do the coaches require us to subscribe to any type of, because some coaches want you to have your own personal huddle, not as a part of the team. That's a cost I've learned. So I start teaching my middle and high school parents that they should budget at least once a quarter. And at the end of every quarter, they should be actually saying, are we on budget? Do we need to pivot? Do we need to get a source of extra funds, whether that's talking to family members or do whatever, it's up to them. extra job, sponsorships, bake sales. I've seen family members do solicitation letters. Hey, we're doing this. We contribute. But that needs to happen once a quarter. If you do that once a quarter, and it becomes a part of the kid's life, then the child has an expectation when they get to college. And when you are sitting down with a school, one of the things that you need to know, well, I'll say two. You need to know the conference or the level, the association level the school is in. Is it, I'll use the United States because this is who I know best. Is it NCAA? Is it D1? Is it D2?
If I was
D3?
15, 16, 14 years old, going through a pandemic right now, or even 18, kind of being confused of what to do, what to think about, moving forward, and not being unaware of what my goal is going to be past my grade 12 year or anything like that. I don't know where I would be. I don't know what my life would be, what it would entail. I'm not really too sure, where I would be at, but believe in the process is more so just because, it takes a lot of time to be able to, you got to put a lot of work in order to be able to get to succeed and get to your goals. So sometimes people and kids in general, and they'll do something for, 1 or 2 days and not see a lot of process, but then be like, feel like somebody's failing them or feel like they're not getting to where they want to get to in a couple of days. So this is more so, the believe in the process kind of more so to say, listen, it's going to happen. Just take some more time. Everything will be okay. Just believe in yourself, believe in everything that's happening. And
yes, lovely pronunciation. I don't get that flair pronunciation very often. And thank you for that introduction. And yeah, definitely, I'm here. I want to be a resource for a lot of different people to give sort of the unvarnished look at what it takes athletically and academically to be a student athlete in Canada and try to make it as best as far as you can. So yes, my name is Alex Dominato, and I am currently the Director of Athletics at Athlete Institute. For those of you who aren't familiar with Athlete Institute, it is, I will say, definitely the best prep basketball school in this nation that we call Canada, and one of the most successful ones in North America. We're located in Orangeville, or Mono, Ontario, technically, just outside Orangeville, Ontario. And, we're striving to continue to help identify, recruit, and then develop, the best and brightest young basketball players in this country so that they can go on and play their next level of basketball, whatever that may be. And I hope we dive into that, because that's truly what the mission is about, is everybody's on their sort of individual pathway. And, that can be taking them to play OCAA basketball. It could be taking them to play U Sport basketball. It could be taking them to play NCAA Division I if you're that good and that lucky. Division II, NAIA, NJCAA. There's lots of opportunities to play basketball in this continent, and it's not just all about sort of Division I basketball at the highest level. Let's just put it that way to get it out there very early.
So, funny enough, what actually happened, my story is a little different because of the fact that I wasn't, a top recruit out of high school. I wasn't a top player while I was in university or college. I wasn't I wasn't like the that guy that was recruited all over the place. I didn't have Division I university looks. I didn't have pro coaches coming to watch me play. I didn't have any of that. But I wanted to be able to give a platform to kids to be able to help them get that, to be able to help them to succeed in whatever it was. And sometimes we typically hear the grassroots, the CIA Bounces, the Northern Kings, the Canada Elites, the bigger time teams that get that happening. But I wanted to be more so to be able to help these kids be able to get where they wanted to get to in any way possible. So for me, it's big for me and very important for me actually to be able to get as many kids to the next level as possible if I also see you putting in the work and putting in the progress. So a lot of it kind of had to come down to the fact that when I didn't have the same opportunity that a lot of people have, a lot of kids have today, I want them to be able to achieve all of their goals, whether it's Division I, whether it's Division II, whether it's Division III, whatever it might be, whether it's going to play NBA basketball, whatever your goal is. But the biggest thing that I'm trying to teach all these kids, and I want them to understand, is that academics is very important, and to be able to get a full ride scholarship is so rare, especially being a Canadian basketball player. It's very rare. So to be able to get anybody out of our program that can get a full ride scholarship or get anything along those lines, university wise, that's the reason why I want to give back and I want to get involved.
Levy, and for the last 9 years I've been studying parenting, just the psychological piece and practicing, and for the last 4 years, over 4 years, I've been teaching it. And basically what I do, I help shift the mindset around parenting, so parents can shift their mindset to a point where they can guide their children to great achievements or whatever success means.
Yes,
we're competitive people, and sports brings out the best and worst in you.
Yes. Yes.
So guess what? When in a competitive environment, whether before, during, or after that competitive environment, we are all here. We're so amped up that we forgot the basics. Again, it's the child that's playing.